Hello again, Yacht. Happy Friday, everyone. This is Steve Carlson, your district superintendent, with another weekly address. For this address, I have two things that I'd like to talk to you about. The first of those is that the Legislative Educational Study Committee of our state legislature has met for the last 3 days at Bond-Wilson Technical Center. During this meeting, they asked area superintendents to talk about several things. They asked us 5 questions. And I'm going to give you what those questions are, and I'm going to tell you why in just a second. They asked us to give a district overview. They asked us some things that we would like to share about our district. They asked us what we were doing to spend at-risk funding and how we are specifically addressing the Martinez-Yazzie findings, the rulings from the court. But they also asked about measuring student achievement. And what I want you to know about this is that the New Mexico State Legislature has begun to provide funding for schools that's not happened before. They're trying to provide ways for us to address learning gaps by giving schools extra money for at-risk populations. The second thing is the legislature expects the PED, or the Public Education Department, and school districts to provide data that this extra money is helping students to achieve and grow academically. So that brings me to the second topic, and that is state testing. We now have results that we can share. This includes both the NMSSA and the SAT results for high school students. Hopefully you've seen your school's testing data from last spring, but if you haven't, I'm going to share it just a little bit here. There's lots of reasons why our students struggled this last school year. For instance, our third graders, they only had 1 full year of school as kindergartners. When they were in the first grade, the pandemic happened. Because of that, our third graders struggled, especially in mathematics, but also in reading. But they're not the only ones who are affected. So when you see your numbers or you hear these numbers, they're going to be lower than we would want them to be. That's to be expected with what happened during the pandemic. But remember, when we talk about assessment data, the most important thing is growth. So I'm going to give you some numbers, and again, some of this will sound kind of boring. With the math assessment, only 6% of our third grade students were proficient or advanced across the district. By the 6th grade, this number was 26% who were proficient or advanced. With the ELA assessment, the third graders and the 6th graders scored about the same, with both grade levels having about 13% proficient. Other grade levels had slightly higher numbers, with 24% of our 8th graders testing proficient or advanced. Our SAT results showed our students were behind national averages. Our district average was 813, while the national average is 1,000. I'd also like to highlight just a few numbers from individual schools in both reading and math. The reason I'm doing this is sometimes we have schools where grade levels just really stick out, especially those grade levels who have success year after year. And I think we really don't take the time to really examine why are those grade levels in those schools having those success rates. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of read to you real quick the very top scores in each grade level in both reading and math from 3rd through 8th grade. Again, in your buildings, those of you who are teachers, you will have time to compare your results with other schools and then set goals for yourselves. So anyway, I'll go ahead and read those scores. In reading, in the 3rd grade level, Eva B. Stokely had 34% proficient or advanced. In the 4th grade, with 34% and 32% were Kirtland Elementary and Judy Nelson. In the 5th grade, at 41%, again was Eva B. Stokely. In the 6th grade, with 35% proficient, was Kirtland Elementary. And in the 7th grade, with 18%, Kirtland Middle School and Sept. In the 8th grade, with 24%, was Kirtland Middle School. As far as math goes, in the 3rd grade, with 19%, was Eva B. Stokely. In the 4th grade, with 32%, was Kirtland Elementary School. In the 5th grade, with 39%, was Eva B. Stokely. And in the 6th grade, with 54% proficient advanced, was Judy Nelson. In the 7th grade, with 14% proficient advanced, was Kirtland Middle School. And in the 8th grade, with 18%, again, Kirtland Middle School. All of this information is now public information. and you'll be able to access these data on our district website soon. And remember, it's all about growth. Take the time to get to know your students. If you teach the grade level standards and scaffold in missing skills, you'll show growth with your students. And I know we have the teaching staff who will show our students can perform as well as any students in the state. Remember, we have data that show that they can. So, until next time, everybody have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Hagone.